Greetings and salutations, gang. Good to see you again. Of course, for those of you tuning in for the first time, I am the Articulate Grunt. Welcome to my channel. Well, for those of you that celebrated, I hope you had a great Thanksgiving in the last couple of days. For those of you that don't, I hope you just had a good end of the week. But that's not what you tuned in for. As we've all noted in the news, Egypt is up in arms again, 24 hours after negotiating the Gaza ceasefire, which we all know isn't going to last. It's more like a, time out, okay, shift your missile launchers, reload, get everything re-prepped, okay, game on. Let's keep counting and see how long that lasts. But anyway, 24 hours after negotiating the Gaza ceasefire, Morsi has done what I asked 3 months ago when he was elected, how long it would be till he did it. And that's what the news has been covering. It's gotten Egypt all up in fire, all hyped up again. But something I noticed the media channels aren't covering is, what has he actually done? What has Morsi actually done that's got the Egyptian people all upset? That's what I'm going to provide you with today. I did some research. Here's a quick look. For one, the parliament was swept out and will not be re-elected until late spring. So there is no wing to that governmental body. It's just Morsi's presidential body and the judiciary court system. Well, Morsi also brought together an assembly to draft the new Egyptian constitution to restore the rights of the Egyptian people. Well, the liberals, Christians, and other minority groups have already left the assembly, walked out last week in protest, claiming that the ultra-conservative Islamic side of the assembly, brought in by Morsi, is trying to ram through, is trying to force constitutional issues that would marginalize, if not completely discount, minorities and other groups, as well as the rights and privileges of women. Basically marginalizing them and putting them back in a subservient role once again. In response to this, the Egyptian judiciary branch has already started looking at cases for shutting down the assembly so that a new and fair one would have to be brought together to write a constitution. What Morsi thus did was to declare himself and his decisions, as well as those by the assembly, not subject to the judicial branch. They cannot be prosecuted, persecuted, or pursued by judiciary action. Nothing the judges say is legal or legit. Now, keep in mind, even though he said he wasn't going to, that he would preserve the military, shortly after Morsi took power, he swept out, very quietly, our media organizations didn't even cover it. He swept out a bunch of the top generals who took power and stabilized the country after former President Mubarak was ousted from power. So those guys aren't even there to counter him anymore. Now, that's got a lot of people up in arms, as well as he turned around, and I just mentioned former President Mubarak. Well, he has stated that he may very well call for retrials of all members of Mubarak's government, to include Mubarak himself, who did not get the death penalty for their participation in the resistance to the popular uprising in the country. Now, let's keep in mind, Morsi only won by 52% of the vote. He won, but by a narrow margin. Kind of like our last election here in the U.S., and we've got all those petitions and everything going on. Well, now there's 48% of the people who didn't like him in the first place and have started rising up again. Thus the protests and everything we see. Now, in addition to all this, he's got the shrunken assembly writing a new constitution. He gave them an extra 2 months to get it done. So, to summarize, Morsi and his assembly, rewriting the constitution, are beyond judicial approach. They can't be touched by the law. They can do, write, and confirm as the new Egyptian constitution whatever they want. Morsi's put forth that he may do a new trial for those already tried but not given the death sentence, and has stated that such extreme measures can sometimes be necessary to ensure the proper return to democracy for the Egyptian people. Now, when you're thinking about this, I want to give you a couple other things to think about. When Morsi took power, he referred to the Egyptian people as my family, my beloved, and swore oath to restore their rights. Additionally, he stated that he had no rights, only responsibilities, and that if he did not deliver, for the Egyptian people to not obey him. So, by rising up in protest, they're actually doing exactly what he told them to do. Now, on top of that, one last thing for you to think about. Morsi's Muslim Brotherhood, who just negotiated the ceasefire with Hamas in Gaza, who are still a recognized terrorist organization, so was the Muslim Brotherhood. As part of their kit bag of operation before coming to political power, assassinations not just of rivals, but of their families, women and children, was an approved method of operation for them. Well, I think I've given you what you need. Basically, he said, I can do what I want. We're going to write the Constitution as we want, and nobody can touch us. There is no legal basis, no recourse, no repercussions that you can do to us for doing our job. And with basically having removed the judicial threat, there being no parliament till late next spring, and having removed the senior generals, there's nobody but the people to stand up and protest, or to say a thing. So until I catch you next time, take care of yourselves. I am the Articulate Grunt. Keep your heads down, and I will see you later. Bye.